But at the end of the day, what it leads to is we need something different, and that's just not what media is right now. I think we need the good stories. We need to know what are people doing, because maybe I want to get involved with what people are doing. But we also need to know, okay, there's this destruction, but it's not just here because Billy Joe decided to be a crack addict one day and wake up and did crack, and now he's just a horrible person. The crack was put here, and then it was used to fund a war in Nicaragua. I love you, but be for real. You don't have to be spicy white to have black friends. Today's guest is a non-spicy white man. What are you Italian?
No.
Are you Irish?
No.
See, non-spicy white. See, I didn't even know.
No.
Nigel Thompson. You're based here. Are you from Philly?
No, I'm from the burbs.
What burb?
Westchester.
Okay, Westchester, and not the New York one.
Nope.
Based reporter, editor, and he is a reporter at KYW News Radio 1060.
You and everybody else I meet when I interview, who does that?
His career in journalism spans many outlets, including Aldea News, Billy Penn, and Presidente Media, where he has covered topics ranging from local politics to cultural events. He went to Temple University and brings a nuanced perspective to his reporting, highlighting stories that intersect with community and identity.
Dang.
There's an applause sound going on right now. Have you heard of the term spicy white?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think of when you think of spicy white?
I think mainly probably just what comes to mind is like, I hear it a lot. It's like cultured. You're cultured. You know a thing or two about other cultures. You're not just like a bland white person.
But
like you have quote unquote seasoning.
Okay, you have seasoning. So, okay, would you consider South Philly Italian to be spicy white?
Depends.
Okay, what does it depend on?
Depends. I mean, I think if they are, if they're engaged in the other communities that are around them, then I would say, yeah, probably.
So you have to be engaged with other communities, not just the Italian community.
Yeah, because Italian's white.
Okay, you and Jarrell said the same thing, but that's not what ChatGPT said.
Is ChatGPT, is it about emotion?
No, so I agree with the ChatGPT definition. It's a tongue-in-cheek term used to describe white people who come from ethnic or immigrant subcultures, e.g. Italian, American, Greek, Armenian, Albanian, have strong regional accents, cultural mannerisms, and or dramatic personalities, are perceived as being more expressive, chaotic, or passionate than the stereotypical bland white American image.
Okay. I mean, my only argument is that every white American, it comes from an immigrant, in their lineage.
Not all of them are equal as far as like the subculture aspect.
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
you know what I mean? It's the subculture aspect of it. Like if I have a friend,
Italian is much more pronounced, right? Yeah. Like it's much more pronounced than like it's
especially if you're Sicilian too, and like the Sicilians, they got that strong subculture. Whereas like, okay, if my family came here from Ireland 3 generations ago, there's not probably going to be a subculture that super strong.
They got the St. Patty's Day parade. They got Irish bars. They got Irish food. I mean,
that's basically like being in America now.
Fair, but I mean, you could say the same thing about Italians.
The food is not what makes them.
No, it's not
a subculture to me. It's not the food. It's like, because for it's Italian, it's like the different things of how they make pasta sauce, not the food itself, but the Italian grandma tropes and the accent. When I think of South Philly Italians, like that strong, heavy accent that they have, and the attitude of like, this is how you do things. It's a subculture. Whereas, okay, at this point, for most Irish people that are here at least a couple generations back, there's not that strong subculture of like, yeah, we do that because we're Irish.
Okay, I see.
I think back in the day, like our parents' generation, no, and maybe like even the generation right before that, then it would be a subculture.
Okay. I see what you're coming from. I don't necessarily agree, but
That's fine.
I see what you're coming from. I mean, because it's like back in our parents' generation, some of those people are still alive.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And like, what comes to my head is like, are we thinking like, because when I think about like South Philly Italian or South Philly like Irish or like Northeast Philly Italian, Northeast Philly Irish, I think that's more like a Philadelphia culture than it is like Irish or Italian. I mean, yes, Irish and Italian influences that culture, but that's Philadelphian in a sense. That's like a white Philadelphia culture.
I agree but disagree.
Okay.
Again, because of living in different cities, the thing that rings true is the Italian culture.
Okay.
It does. Like, I agree with you though. One, some of those people are still alive, but two, a lot of it is a Philly thing. I concede to that. But with the Italians specifically, there is something about the Italians that's going to be Italian regardless of where you're at.
Hey. Well, and the other thing,
the ones that are in the subculture, not just because you have Italian blood, like the ones that are in that subculture, like there's just something. It don't matter if you in Philly or not.
I believe you. I mean, the other thing is like I'm speaking from somebody who didn't grow up in Philly, so I don't have I'm very much also just an outsider observing too.
Your points were valid. Your points were right. They weren't incorrect. I think I agree with those points. I just think the Italians, I don't know why they just, they do something a little bit bigger and in my opinion better, but I'm biased because I'm from South Philly. So I'm very biased.
Yeah, you've been to the Italian parade,
my mom, like the first person who held her when she came back from the hospital was her Italian neighbor, Mary, who fucking taught her how to make sauce from scratch. Like I'm very like biased in my opinion.
Then it's making sense now.
They're different.
It's making sense. It's making sense why you're standing your ground.
I'm willing to die on that.
Well, no, you got lived experience. That's so, and that goes miles.
I do. Your points were valid and they were real and they weren't blasphemous. So I can see. Okay. But anyway, I categorized you as not spicy white based on my definition. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're spicy white based on your definition of spicy white?
I don't know. I would feel kind of like, I don't know. I feel like kind of bad branding myself as a spicy white.
Yeah,
it just seems like
you don't want to brand yourself. Somebody has to give it to you.
Yeah,
it's like I have to invite you to the.
It needs to be anointed on me by somebody. Not like it can't be like I can't be out here like I'm a spicy white.
So what you say? Your definition was interacting with cultures around you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just a more like open mind, like somebody like because I feel like white people sometimes get this image, at least in mainstream, of like we're closed-minded and we have like we have a certain way we do things. We're not as open-minded as other things as other cultures, I'd say, who maybe necessarily grew up alongside each other. But I think it's just being open-minded and being willing to learn of the cultures around you and appreciating them through that learning, not necessarily like just like, oh, this is cool, I'm gonna take, not like the culture vulture thing. You're not like a culture vulture. You're just like you appreciate it and you learn from it.
I feel like there's something missing from that definition. I feel like there's just a little something missing. I don't know what's missing from it, but it's something, because there's like a good amount of white people that appreciate and learn about things and go to fucking liberal schools.
But it's more than that. It's more than liberal. It's more than going to a liberal school.
Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of people that go to liberal schools in different communities and they never
interact with that
community.
Yes.
So
Yes, I'm big on that. But I think Black people do that too. Like, it's like an income thing and what you're willing to expose yourself to. Because I know Black people who, like, I'm a transplant to Chicago now, and I interact with people that aren't in my high-rise downtown. People who are actually from Chicago, not transplants, from different neighborhoods, different parts, and I get their perspectives. But so many people who are young Black Americans that come to Chicago from other cities never do that interaction. So I just think if that's an income thing, and I guess more often white people have more money, but at the same time, I'm like, there's something missing to that spicy white definition.
Well, it may go down to what I said, where it's like, is if there's like emotion mixed into it, because it's like how they act, right? But the thing you said is like how they act.
Yeah.
And it's like they act like you said. You mentioned like a potential accent, which,
and it could be any accent. I don't mean like, oh, they have a Ebonics accent. Yeah. I mean like,
yeah, they have an accent
type.
They're a quote unquote emotional, which is like they're very expressive. Like expressive, like we think, when we think of Italian Americans, we think of people with like who do things with their hands. I'm gonna stop because I'll offend somebody if I keep doing that. But like we think of their,
like that they talk with their hands.
Yeah. But like I'm like that's just that. But like I feel like that may be more in what you're saying of like I'm just trying to meet you.
You're meeting me, and we've been met.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. That's what's missing. It's the actions. It's the expressiveness. It's a personality. You walk into the room and like, I'm gonna be like, ooh, look at that white boy. You know?
Yeah. They command the attention.
Okay. So what?
Nah, keep going. Well, is that
I want to know.
Well, my question is like, is that a white thing, or is that just a personality thing?
Most white people don't have that. And that's what makes the difference. Most white people don't have that swag, that little spice
of the aura. Are we talking about aura here?
Oh, see, maybe. I feel like white people just don't have that all the time, have that like extra little like thing about them, that little flair. Until you get to know them. Like with you, it's like I have to have a conversation with you and get to know you, because you're dynamic in real life, but there's not a caricature of you. You just are you.
Yeah.
Whereas like the spicy white people, it's almost like a caricature.
I understand.
Have we been met?
We've been met.
Okay. Thank you.
We've been there. I apologize if I made that first section more difficult than it needed.
No, you didn't. No, this was great. I feel like you've opened up my mind, and now I've shifted a little bit. You've shifted a little bit. I don't think either of us shifted. We just needed to have the terms
clarified.
To clarify. Yeah. I love that. I love that for us. So your whole thing is journalism. Is that what you studied at Temple?
Yeah. Well, I got my bachelor's in English and Spanish, and then I got my graduate degree in journalism.
Okay. Oh, you got multiple degrees. See, I be knowing all these people with multiple degrees. I got my one degree and I'm sticking beside her.
Yeah, that's really all you need. I should have just got a bachelor's degree in journalism. Master's degree in journalism don't really do a lot. But
it doesn't? Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's you still have to go get newsroom experience and stuff. Fortunately, I've gotten that, but like it's one of those things where it's like it's not like if I had to reconsider getting a master's degree, I probably wouldn't go to journalism. I would have gotten it as like a bachelor's degree. I would have done 4 years of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does make sense. That's why I got my one degree and I'm thinking beside her, and I'm gonna figure out the rest later. Like if I need a job, I'm gonna be like, because I'm into like the journalism and research and history and then connecting it to what's happening now, especially in different communities, Black, brown, and spicy white communities. That's my thing.
Of course.
So how have you, as someone who is genuinely engaged with community, been able to honor that in your reporting that's often dominated by narratives or shock value?
Good question. I think I think first it's like it's an imperfect like mission. Like I think to say that I've been good at it, that I've done it perfectly my entire career is like not true. It's been a learning process. I think the first and foremost thing, and I know this is like later on, but like learning the language was like was a big part of my sort of like of like being able to correctly engage with certain communities. Like I learned Spanish, just so people, I think I learned Spanish. I can speak Spanish. I would never call myself fluent, but I can hold conversations and I can speak with people. And that does a lot to like, sort of build trust, which is like kind of what my whole job is. Like you build trust. And so like we build trust but the thing with journalism is, and this is an ongoing thing in journalism, is like you build, like the trust building is, it takes time, but the way the industry is set up now, it's not as prioritized.
Yes.
Let's say that. So I think that's where I say like it's been imperfect, where it's like there's times where it's like I've wanted to be able to build trust better, but I haven't been able to spend the time. And that's really what it is. You have to spend time. Like you need to like, and you have to spend time not just as a reporter. Because like I can go to a community meeting and be like, I'm a reporter, this. But the thing is like it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
Build more trust, you need to go there not just as a reporter. You need to go there as a person. Because as a reporter, as journalists, what do? We tell the stories of people.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think really for me, and I learned this at Temple. Temple did a good job of this, which was like really trying to push community journalism, which is at least in my understanding, is like spend time. And like if you're going to go report on a community, understand everything you can about that community and spend time in that community and get to know people in that community and let those people get to know you, not just you, the journalist, but you, the person. And that's really cool and awesome for a college class, but in the real journalism industry, that's not prioritized because honestly, the industry is broke and they've kind of catered to fast stuff.
Yes, that was one of the things I wanted to touch on with you, because the industry now, especially with TikTok, Reels and everything, it's supposed to just be what's the thing happening right now. And every day, every hour of the day is supposed to be something new. People are reporting on the Diddy case, for example, and they're supposed to be reporting every hour, like, I was in the courtroom. This is what was said. This is what was said. But then when do we have the time to take a step back and look at all those things and really understand this is the totality of, not to say that I don't think he's guilty. That's not like, but just to understand the totality of, even if it's like, okay, I think that he was abusing this person because they told this story in the courtroom, but what does this say about how men assert their dominance in the music industry over young women? What does this say about something beyond Cassie? Cassie is important, and God bless her husband for sitting in there. Wow, they saying all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it should be a story that is used to extrapolate data about a community as a whole. And with the media being so fast paced, we're not getting that.
Yeah.
And as someone who actually cares about engaging with communities, you don't just care about getting your clicks or just getting the next report. You actually care. How do you balance this fast pace that's required of you for your job with the community interaction and trying to share like genuine stories.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it before. It's an imperfect balance. Like it's the way it is. It's imperfect. So like I have to. How I've kind of decided to navigate it is like I take my small victories. Like I will have like I will do the like there is a breaking news thing, and like quite frankly at my job now the breaking news stuff is often like something tragic. Like there's a shooting, there's a this, there's a that, and those are the stories that like they get the headlines, and those are how. Unfortunately, those are how.
There's nothing you can change about
well,
that.
And unfortunately, because because it's what gets reported on the most. It's how it's how the people that consume the news tend to look at certain whole communities where this happens. Where it's like, like what do we know about? Well, I'm fortunate that but like you think about like what do we know when I say Kensington, what do you think about? What do you think?
Kensington Beach in the.
Exactly. But I mean, fortunately, at my last job, I was able to go in there and meet people from that entire community, and you realize that, like, yes,
this does exist.
Yes, the opioid crisis is real, and it's horrible, and it's bad, and it affects everybody there. But there are people there that are doing amazing work, and they're amazing, and 95% of the people that live there are just living their life, and like there's like the 5% that are committing crime, or the 5% that are there not
suffering from
addiction, or doing all that. It's like that's such a small portion of what that community actually is and stands for and what it is.
But it's so loud.
Exactly. And that you could say that about any community in the city. So I'm going off track. So I went off track with that answer.
Yeah, good.
But basically it's like, yes, because it's in my job, it's required of my job. I have to do that. Those shitty stories, because that's what they are. They're shitty. They're sad. They're horrific. They're like people at the worst of their own experience. But then I have to take my small victories in that I find a story that I want to do, that I like to do, and it usually involves, profiling somebody doing amazing work, or, somebody making a difference in their community. And I also I try my best to put time in to make that as good a story as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how that's how I've learned to navigate as a journalist. Again, it's an imperfect balance. It's reflective of an imperfect industry, and of kind of like how journalism is the way it is. Because I mean, quite frankly, if you go to a lot of newsrooms, especially breaking newsrooms, what you'll find is like they still have like a policy of like, if it bleeds, it leads.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, if there's murder, if there's death, if there's destruction, that's our top story, and that's what we're going to talk about the most. And that, I mean, truthfully, like, think about how differently you'd think about it if like the policy was switched, and like, what's something good that's happening, and like that was all we talked about, right?
So I like the deeper story, but I do like to talk about destruction, but from this is who's doing it, and you need to know who's doing it, and knowledge is power, and your approach is good too. We need both of these things. But at the end of the day, what it leads to is we need something different, and that's just not what media is right now. I think we need the good stories. We need to know what are people doing, because maybe I want to get involved with what people are doing, but we also need to know, okay, there's this destruction, but it's not just here because Billy Joe decided to be a crack addict one day and wake up and did crack, and now he's just a horrible person. The crack was put here. It was put here on purpose. And then it was used to fund a war in Nicaragua. We need to know that.
And I think what I'll say is like, those stories, those deeper stories, they do exist. They're not in the quantity of the stories that are like, you're like, they
do exist.
They exist. They're not in the quantity. And the other thing is like, they're not as marketed, I think, as like
on purpose, because they don't want us to know. I hate to be a conspiracy, but like I have to say that because I know you can't say certain things, but it's like they don't want us to know.
I don't know, but there is a genuine discussion to be had about who funds the media.
Yeah.
There is a genuine, and the reality is like, yes, who funds the companies that are, who funds the companies that puts the news out? They like they always say like, there's defense contractors that fund some of the biggest news outlets in our country, and it's like, yeah, well, what do they profit off of? Wars.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that happened. I mean, that is a real thing that exists.
This is like an ADHD tangent. When I was in high school, it relates though, I swear. I genuinely, as someone who, like, one of my best classes were like, I took multiple AP, like government history, all those things. Like, I was nerdy, and I still, with all my knowledge, was still brainwashed into thinking that Israel was like this victim the whole time, and they like never did anything. All they did was like fight back against these Palestinians that came into their land. Like, I just thought it was one-sided. Israel's were being abused, as someone who actually like is into history and like learning. So why is that? Because what we see on TV. And then I recently thought about, like, if I hear the word Afghanistan, like, my heart drops just a little bit naturally. But it's because of what we see on the TV. I have no reason to think that. I don't have no family from there. I don't know anything about Afghanistan or anything really bad that's happened besides the fact that Osama bin Laden is from there.
He's from Saudi
Arabia. See? But I thought he's from Afghanistan because of the damn news. And I'll be on there. I'll be researching. I started watching that Netflix thing, the Osama bin Laden thing.
Yeah.
See, but in there, all they talking about is like, oh, he's in Afghanistan. He's in Afghanistan. Never did they say he was from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot you could talk about with that one, because it's like, yeah, well, there's.
I know we split in a whole rabbit hole.
That's a whole rabbit hole. That's the whole rabbit hole there. I mean, and that goes back to like the the defense contractors that fund some of the music. Yeah, I mean, they wanted war.
Exactly.
Afghanistan was there.
Now to this day, we haven't been there for years, but I still, when I hear Afghanistan, it just now clicked to me, like, why do I have that like weird reaction? It's like the media and like everything that you see, and you don't see anything else. The first time I had Afghan food was this past summer. I went to Europe and I was in Copenhagen, and they had like an Afghan restaurant. And I was like, why have I never had Afghani food? In that, like, I lived in New York and actually like had so many different types of food when I lived there that I never would have had if I just stayed in Philly. And I never have had Afghani food or been presented with the idea of having it. Crazy. Anyway, do you read? Like, not just like, but like books?
Yeah.
Have you ever read this book called When Crack Was King?
No.
It's good. I feel like you would like it. He was well, he's still alive, the guy. He's a journalist, but then he like wanted to write a book about the whole crack stuff. And then he kind of talks about the balance of like what's in the media. He talks about all this like journalism thing.
Journalism stuff.
The stuff.
Journalism.
I feel like you would like the book as someone who has to have that balance.
It's funny you say it, because it's funny you say, because that's also another part of like the community journalism that I talk about, which is like a lot of times, and not that, but I think for a lot of people, it's just like journalism stuff. And like we as journalists do a horrible job of explaining what we do. Like, you don't know what the fuck we do. Like you're just like, you go and take quotes and then you fucking do this story. And when the reality is, it's like the big part of like the community journalism that I learned and that, you try to carry out is like having people like being open with like, hey, ask me, like ask me what the fuck I'm doing. Like, you can ask me and I need to answer for like what you're doing. And then, that I think is also a big part of like building the trust that we were talking about like building trust with the communities is like, not first they have to see you as a person before a journalist, but then also when you are a journalist, they have to trust and know that like what you're doing. What am I doing?
He's kind of talks about some of that in the book, because he talks about like, this is my process, because he meets with different people from that generation and not just people who were former addicts. I would say only one of the stories that he talks about is from an actual former addict. He has people who used to be dealers, people who were never a dealer, but their dad became an addict. Like, he talks to so many different people in community, and I think it took him like years to collect the information and then to write it. he said he was having health problems after because he was taking on everybody's trauma.
I mean, yeah, that is another big part of our job is like we do hear a lot of we did hear and see a lot of shit. So, and oftentimes it can feel like we are somebody's therapist in a sense, even though we're not. But like we hear if anything we hear it.
But you're taking it on, and this is probably just my personality type. But I would find it super hard to not then have a response that is trying to help or coddle or comfort.
I
find it so hard to not do that.
I don't think it, and I think we do. Like I think we like so everybody navigates it differently. I shouldn't say that like this is how all journalists react. No, like all journalists kind of like we all have our different approaches. But I think for me, I definitely like will try to like comfort somebody. If somebody has shared something with me that is like horrific or like horrible, I definitely will hit them with like thank you, I'm so sorry, but like you'll do things to like make them feel comfortable because that's just kind of that's kind of the human thing to do. You want to be a human.
Yeah. I think you should have to learn that in school, like how to do that.
There is a growing training that can be done. It's like trauma informed reporting. That's a thing that exists.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. It's still like growing. It's not super big, but it is a thing that more and more journalists do now, especially journalists that report on like crime or horrible things. Like it's trauma informed reporting sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's a whole course you can take where it's like you learn how to kind of what you should and shouldn't ask, what how you ask something, how you approach something, what you can see and how you see things in certain people.
Yeah, I think that's important because when I was in school, I was an RA, and at my school, they made RAs take on heavy things. I don't know why, but one of the things I had to do was stop someone from trying to overdose on heroin. And I was 20, 21.
Yes.
So
it was a lot.
And I had spoken up and I said, like, you want me to, and they wanted RAs to also host events where for people of color who could talk about like, oh, I'm experiencing this racism and have open forums and platforms as my little 20, 21-year-old self. And a requirement of being an RA was never you're in school for psychology or you're in school for any type of major. I could be there to study how guitars work. And I'm an RA. So I was always advocating for if you're going to have people in positions where you're hearing people's stories or stopping them or trying to influence their decisions in a way that impacts their entire life, maybe I should be trauma-informed, trained, or whatever. Yeah. So I think journalists, now that you're telling me it's like kind of like the therapist thing, I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We hear
y'all should be trained. Y'all should be trained because then y'all hear something, and then also y'all should have a therapist.
Okay. Yeah, that's a thing.
Y'all should have a therapist. Do you have a therapist?
I do.
Good.
I do.
Good. How long you been going to therapy?
About a year and a half.
Good. Oh, you needed that before.
I definitely did.
You backed up.
Definitely did.
You backed up.
Definitely did. But
damn.
Better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never. Y'all should all have to have one because what the guy was saying in the book was you really take it on at a certain point, especially if you're talking about the same things over and over again. Like, you're going to start to take on other people's trauma. You got to let that shit go. You got to go to the lady about that. Is yours a lady?
You're the lady.
Yeah, you got to go see. Yeah.
Go see the lady about it.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
I do. I promise. Every week. Every week, you get a little lady about it.
Yeah, mm-hmm. The weekly one. Because that's your job. So you have to go. Good. See, anybody who's listening, if you're a journalist and you don't have a therapist, please get one. Please get one. I'm begging you. I know a lady. I know a guy. I know a few people. Just let me know.
No. Yeah.
So you talk about speaking Spanish.
Okay.
You talked about speak. You were like, oh, what does she want to?
No. I came prepared. I read the questions before.
Okay. As a true journalist would.
Yes.
You're prepared.
I mean, true journalists, you wouldn't even send me the questions. We just do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, that's usually like a big no. Is like
don't send.
Yeah, but it depends on the format. But like usually it's like if like it's just like I'm going to interview you, and sometimes they will be like, well, can you send a list of questions or like this? And it's like no. Yeah.
I like to know that now.
Yeah.
I like to know that.
Yeah.
I always come up with my stuff because ADHD, like I need to know like generally where I'm going with something, but I don't like people trying to over prepare for something.
I should say it's like depends on the format of it. Because like if you were to interview the mayor about something,
yes, you have to send the questions.
No, that would be the person you would not want to send the questions.
Really?
Yeah, they definitely ask you.
Because I was going to say they ask you for.
They would definitely ask you, but you would have a right as a like I would think as a public official, you should not do that. Where it's like if it's like a regular person and they're not familiar with being interviewed, they don't know what the process is, or they don't know. Then yeah, maybe like a questions or topic list just so they can prepare and feel more relaxed. A public official, they got to face the press. They got to interview. They do interviews all the time. Why give them a cheat sheet?
Oh, I'm learning. I feel like I'm getting a journalism degree from you right now.
Okay.
This is golden.
You're welcome.
I'm like, wow, this is good. Because now you're telling people like how to get you. Like, this is how I get you to say what I want you to say.
Well, it's not getting what they're to say. It's not.
Not want you to say, but like, it's not scripted.
Yeah, it's less because you'll more than, I mean, chances are they will answer how politicians work sometimes. I've interviewed a lot of politicians. Work is like they will have a script for certain types of questions. So
yes.
like, and they'll have them memorized. So they'll sit there and like, you've heard the mayor go, "This is the greenest, cleanest city in America," and she'll say that for like every question. She'll say that for like every question that's about like, how are you cleaning the city?
She does that about Philly. She says that out her mouth.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I know.
Well, she's trying to make it. Not that she says it is.
ELGL. That's the only thing I heard her say.
Well, yeah. I mean, she had a lot of them on the campaign trail. She had a lot of them. And if you talk to any reporter, like all the reporters are like, yeah, I've heard this like 1,000 times. Like a lot of reporters are like, man, I've heard this every time. Every time we talk about it, this is what happens. But I mean, hey, that's what they had to do. That's how they're prepared. I don't like fault the mayor for doing that. It's just, it's how they're trained. It's how they're prepared to deal with us, the press, who ask a lot of questions out of, and sometimes are questions that are crazy, it is what it is.
See, I'm learning. I love this. Thank you for my training, my crash dummy.
Your crash course
into journalism. Although the piece about it being time consuming, that's why I never would actually be a journalist. Mm-hmm. My intent is to talk to people who put the time in two different things. You've put the time into the time kind of topics we're talking about. Other people have had time in or experience in other things. And I want to highlight through those other people because I know when I go down a rabbit hole, like I really want to go down it. Like I want to really feel you. And that shit takes fucking time.
It does.
It takes so much time. And it's not a bad thing, but it's in the society that we're in right now, we just don't have. Yeah,
I mean, I think the other aspect of it is like it gets lost. And we touched on it with like the therapy thing, but it's like we're humans too. Like we have lives outside of being reporters. We have lives outside of being, that. So, and I think that finding that balance with the balance of like telling right stories, while also doing stories that maybe is your editor wants you to do, that's all mixed up into one. So,
Period. Now with the Spanish, I'm not gonna let you go on that.
No. I didn't think you wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Well, no, because some stuff I'm gonna let go and be like, okay, we don't gotta talk about that because you gave me some other good stuff. But the Spanish, I'm not gonna let that go.
Okay.
So, have you dated a Spanish girl before, like a Latina?
No.
Never?
No.
Oh, have you tried?
I've crushed on multiple.
So, did you flirt with them in Spanish?
No.
You was just doing it in English?
Doing it in English.
So when you be trying to like crush on a Latina girl, you don't be like trying to whip out your little Spanish as like.
I mean, I'll sprinkle it like I'll sprinkle it. It's more like it's supposed to be a surprise. Like it'll be a surprise.
That's a good strategy.
You sprinkle it in, like you think that they think you can't understand, and then they realize you understand. Like that's probably the best approach I've found. Like I wouldn't hit them with like a pickup line. It'd be like, I don't know if I'd do that. Like or I don't know. Like it would be more like you kind of just you surprise them with it. That would be how.
And then they like, ooh.
Yeah, they go, wait a minute. Yeah. No, literally, they go, they go, you understood that? Or like, how did you know that? And it's like, oh, well, I speak Spanish. And then you kind of have that conversation.
That's a good strategy.
Usually how it works.
That's a good strategy. See, I do that, but not to flirt. I've never had a crush on a Latino man, I don't think. Shockingly, because I have to have like an insane crush every quarter. It's weird. Mine this quarter, I determined last night, is Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Basketball player.
Yeah, I know. The Timberwolves.
Okay. I don't know what sports you watch and all that, but yeah, like that's my like insane. Why the fuck would you have that crush right now? So it's crazy that I haven't had a Latino man. I'm lying to you. Ozuna, he had his time in my heart, and sometimes he do circle back.
Every time it releases a new album.
Right? Yeah. And then he does his little promo, and he'd be posting, and he'd be like, oh, the Dominican Republic, la 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 la. And then he'd be posting in New York, Nueva York, whatever.
Dad, Dominican or Puerto Rican?
He's Dominican.
He's Dominican.
His wife is Taina.
Yeah, no. Is he Dominican?
I thought I'm pretty Dominican.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I looked that up.
One of my men.
He's Puerto Rican.
What?
He's Puerto Rican. I knew he was Puerto Rican. I knew he was
Now I know for a fact me and him will never be together because I got that wrong. And it's on camera.
Oh. Yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
You know, I had my time with Bad Bunny too. And Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. I know that. Yes. He's from something Baja. And when I was in Puerto Rico in March, I passed through where he's from. And I was like, we're passing through where Bad Bunny is from.
Big time. It's damn near a national anthem.
And he don't go with Kendall no more, so.
Yeah. He had his face.
He might. I don't know.
Nah, his whole last album's about like colonization in Puerto Rico and all that stuff.
Exactly. Like I feel like it's time for him to date a black girl now.
I mean, the heart does what the heart wants.
The heart does what it wants.
The heart does what the heart.
And that's, you know what? That's what I would do. Now I know the strategy. If I was to come in contact with him, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to flirt in Spanish. What I'm going to do is act like I don't know no Spanish. And then I'll just sprinkle it in.
Yeah, just do it.
Now you basically just told me how to get Bad Bunny. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I'm invited to the wedding.
You will be, of course.
Thank you.
That's going to be a big wedding. It's going to be in Puerto Rico and all that.
I mean, it better be.
Yeah.
It better be.
It's going to be in Puerto Rico. Yeah. And you could probably officiate in Spanish. You got to just get the ordained thing.
Yeah. You gotta go be, you gotta do like the certification. Yeah, I've heard that.
I heard it's like free too.
Yeah. My one friend suggested that one time and I did look into it. Yeah, it's not that hard.
You looked into it for doing it for Spanish?
No, not
okay.
Spanish. No, just to do it in general.
Okay, well, you might be hired for my services. You know, if it work out the way, I think it's gonna work out.
Okay, so that'll be the crush next quarter, and then you.
Well, he wasn't. What quarter was? It was like December.
Okay.
I think whenever that album came out.
Yeah, last quarter.
And I was like, you know what? He's a metrosexual. I might have a pass for. Yeah. Because I'm not normally into the metrosexual thing. That's not my thing. But him, and I guess maybe A$AP Rocky, maybe.
Okay.
But I feel like he's evolved into his metrosexualness. So like before he was that Harlem. And then like because it was an evolution, It's like, oh, I've like slowly become okay with it. Yeah. Whereas like Bad Bunny, he came out the gate.
Yeah, he came out the gate. I mean, he came out the gate, but then he had a harder start, and then like as he got more popular, I think the one he dresses up as a woman and he twerks. Yeah, there's one where he dresses up as a woman.
I didn't see that, and that was for good reason. That was for good reason, because now you trying to ruin my wedding.
Why that ruin it? We were talking about that. Why that ruin it?
Because, yeah, I have internalized things that I'm working through.
Okay. That's okay.
I do. And I'm not mad. Like, the life is about accepting who you are and then slowly, gradually getting better. Yeah. And I accept that I have that bias. It can exist. Like, okay, say he's had sex with a man. That's fine. He's allowed to have had sex with a man, but I don't want to know about it.
Okay.
Like,
I don't think he had sex with a man. I think he dressed up as a woman in a music video.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I
haven't seen the video. No, it's all fine. I'm saying as far as for me and my wedding. I'm like, it's all fine. I'm good with all of it. But as far as for me and my wedding, I would be cool with it. I would be cool with it. Like, that could even play at the wedding. That would be fine. Okay. It could be on the big screen and all that. When you said that, my internalized homophobia went to the worst possible thing. Even though when you repeated it, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy how our brains work.
It's all good. That's how it works. That's what happened.
That's so crazy. We just saw that in real time. And you ask good questions. And without attacking people. That's why you do what you do.
I do it for a living.
Because you just had me have a breakthrough of you ain't even do nothing. That's crazy. That is fucking crazy.
Happy to be here.
So now that we know I can still marry Bad Bunny,
yep.
Do you know how to do salsa?
I don't know how to salsa. I know how to bachata. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I've got to preface, I'm no expert in either of these. I'm also way too stiff of a person to do any of these.
Well, you got to show me the moves for it. I feel like bachata is harder because you got the 4 steps instead of the 2. So when we not on camera...
But can you count the 4?
I can most days. Today, I think is one of the days I can count them.
That's all you got to know.
Okay. We gonna work on that.
Yeah.
After, because I have to be able to do something at the wedding.
Yeah.
And also when I'm courting him, I have to be able to, when we out, dance. And if I can't do that when we out, he gonna be like, not this bitch.
Maybe,
But some dudes like to teach you stuff.
And maybe he is.
He might be like, oh, look at this little black girl. She don't know what she doing. I'm going to teach her. So we going to see.
Maybe.
But I'm going to know in the country.
You know the basics.
So you will teach me those and we're going to get there.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, we can work with that.
Mm-hmm. So what's up? Do you like, speaking of Bad Bunny, do you like reggaeton, dembow, like those types of things? Yeah. I do feel like you learning Spanish made your music tastes.
I wouldn't say learning Spanish. I'd say it's more from the people I've met.
Okay.
Like a lot of in college. In college, I had a Colombian roommate, and then one of my best friends is Salvadoran. And then obviously the first newsroom I worked in was a bilingual English-Spanish paper. It covered the Latino community in Philadelphia. And most of my coworkers were Latino. So it was just the people around me. You kind of learn from the people around you. You learn to connect with the people around you. And one of those ways was music.
Period. Music is such a good way to connect with people. And I don't think that everyone is put onto that. People listen to music, right? There's no way you can't listen to music if you are not deaf and you live in the world. You're going to hear it. Even if you're in your apartment all day, you're going to hear someone else's music. But people don't really understand how you can use it as a tool to really connect and be adjacent or with the community or feel an emotion or go through something in life or create your own music soundtrack to your life. People don't talk about that, and it's underrated. So I'm glad you used it to connect, because now you're going to teach me bachata and stuff. And
not an expert. Not an expert.
You're like, if you see this bitch doing it and you got something to say, don't blame that on me.
Not an expert.
I told her.
I just gotta make sure that's driven home. Not an expert. Not an expert.
If you were a DJ at a party,
okay,
Bad Bunny's at my party. It's a party. It's you know what? You're the DJ at my fucking wedding. You're the DJ at my wedding.
I'm officiating it and then being DJ?
Yeah. You gonna get a pretty penny. He got it. He got it.
Yeah, I mean, he does.
He got it.
He does.
Name must-have song from 4 of your favorite genres that you would have to include.
Okay. Well, we got like in the Latin music sphere, we got to go with Baile Inolvidable by Bad Bunny. That's the unforgettable dance.
Yeah.
It's like natural. That would probably be like your ending dance.
Yeah.
That would probably hit like some of the Latin music. The other one I'd probably have is Corazón Culpable.
Yes, I love that song.
That song is incredible.
That is a great song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, that one would be like, because you got me like thinking about like a wedding, and so like but like I would say that's probably my favorite bachata song. Baile Inolvidable is probably one of my favorite just Spanish language songs.
Yeah,
like Latin music songs. Like if I had to pick like my favorite genres, well, I like hip hop.
Me too.
What would I pick? That's like a good, but like, should I think wedding or should I just think like my favorite hip hop? Like where should my brain be right now?
So for my wedding, it's gonna be about turning up.
Okay.
So it don't gotta be love. Of course, you're gonna have like lovey songs in there, but my shit, like, I want people shaking ass, doing splits, twerking on the dick type shit. Like, I want all of that. So you could go wherever you want.
All right. Okay. Couple came to mind. I would probably throwback, but I'd probably throw, just because this was like, this is big. I listened to this a lot when I was in high school. This was a big football hip hop song, but it's also like a good party song. A Grove Street Party by Waka Flocka Flame. Yeah. You could also probably throw No Hands by Waka Flocka Flame in there.
Yeah. That always do that.
That hits. That hits in like all.
It always hits.
That always hits. And then I'll go like a more recent, because like for some reason I've been on a kick of like late 90s to like early 2000s R&B. And
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we are. And there is a Mace song that I cannot think. Oh, here we go. All I Ever Wanted by Mace.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good song.
I don't know what the one that is. Like, I will know it when I hear it, but I'm like, I can't wait.
That would be because that's like a good, like, that's a good vibey dance song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel that. So I feel like, okay, so at your wedding.
At my wedding.
And now, because there's a follow-up question. At your wedding, do you want your wedding music to be like lovey, or do you want?
No, I'm gonna turn up at my wedding.
You want to turn up too? Okay.
Yeah. No, I want to have. I'm a very much like I want people to have a good time. Like I don't want people to feel awkward or weird. I want us to have fun and enjoy each other's presences and like just enjoy it, have a good time. So,
okay.
So like my vibe would be probably similar to you, like turn it up, good vibe songs, all those things.
So your wife, she gonna have to like be cultured in some type of way.
In some type of way.
Because how she gonna enjoy it if all she wanna fucking hear is Taylor Swift? You gotta have a bitch that, I don't think that you could have a bitch that like is a Taylor Swiftie.
Who knows?
Okay.
I mean,
we gonna see.
Who knows? Maybe some Swifties have some diverse, have a diverse,
Now, old Taylor Swift, though, I'm not hating on old Taylor Swift. I don't.
Yeah, you gonna be careful saying that. You gonna be careful about that one.
I don't care. That's not my dick. I ain't saying that for y'all. I speak truth on this podcast. I speak truth. So.
Fair enough. Okay, we're gonna get clout one way or another. We're gonna get clout one way or another.
Cool. I wasn't even trying to get the clout. I'm just being for real. That's what the podcast name is. I love you, Taylor Swiftie fans, but be for real. The bitch is playing.
Yeah.
But she be knowing how to make some songs.
Yeah.
She be knowing how to make some. I don't know her new stuff, so like, because it just got tired for me. So I'm not saying her new stuff is bad or good per se, but I know that old stuff. I was in high school. thinking I was going to learn how to play guitar and I was going to cry while I was making guitar songs and stuff. Like, that bitch was hitting. She know how to write a little song. She can't sing, but she can write. She can write. And that, you know, Swifties, I hope y'all listen to hear the whole part that I said about her, because I said some good things there. But if you mad, you can suck my dick. Anyway, I feel like we covered what we needed to cover. I feel like we got a lot.
Okay.
We got a lot accomplished.
Okay.
Are you a Swiftie? Oh my God. I shouldn't.
I am not a
Because I'm like, damn, what if I said all that and it's
So that right to my face? Right to my face?
and then like, and fuck, if your future wife is a Swiftie, I will delete the episode. I will. Even if it has views, I'm going to put it down. Because I want to be invited to the wedding. Because it sounds like you going to have a good playlist in that bitch. I'll be turning the fuck up in your Wayne We Bad Bunny. Comment and make sure you give me my +1, okay?
I will.
Is there anything you want to, social media, is there anything you want people to know, where to find you? You don't care about all that because you be reporting on other people.
Well, no, I would say listen Fridays and Saturdays on KYW. That's 1060 AM and
News Rate
103.9 FM. I'm usually the reporter Fridays and Saturdays, sometimes days during the week, but usually at night. So if you listen, then you might hear me. So always do that. And then if you want to follow some of my other work, because I do a lot of other freelance work, you mentioned, it hasn't been a lot this year, but I have in the past. You can follow me on Instagram. It's called Nigel the Writer.
Period. Nigel the Writer is here, and you should listen to him on, can you do the jingle?
No.
Okay,
I hear it way too much.
I'll do it by myself. I'm going to look at the camera and do it. KYW Radio 1060. Bye.